Did you hear that? All right. Hey, Shalom. Yeah. Shalom. Hey, first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. That's the name of the Father and the Son, all right, and the Holy Spirit, who we worship and praise. We want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well over the flock. All right, we want to say shalom and salutation to all you brothers out here that's pushing the words of truth and sincerity. The prophets out here, sincere. All right, also say shalom to all you Akim and Akwaf that's paying attention, scattered Israelites abroad, listening, diving in. All right, as a topic, you can see it's diets and nutrition again. You know, there's many prophetic topics to go into. If you don't understand prophecy, you know, you should be checking out some of the prophetic videos. You know, but since there's so many different facets to our brother's knowledge, and you know, we accumulate here together and bring up so many different topics that just flood, it's good to get some of these out too. And this one's on diet and nutrition. You know, you got a few brothers that's live right now. Shout out to all the brothers that's going live on the streets, because that's mainly what we do. But this one, once again, it's about health. And I got some of the top, you know, as far as I'm concerned, brothers out here that's have the knowledge of foods, man, foods and diets and nutrition, just how this thing works, what you're supposed to eat, what you're supposed to stay away from. Brothers gonna go all the way into details and outline things that you're gonna need to know. So if I was you, you know, I get a pencil and a paper or a pen, you know, because you're gonna want to take notes on this one or watch it over again, what have you. But a lot of good wisdom gonna come out. And we're gonna start with myself. I'm Rapah Mouth. We're gonna go from the south all the way up to the north this time. Nathaniel, introduce yourself.
I'm Nathaniel. I'm from the GMS camp Atlanta, and you know, basically my shtick is I'm the camp cook. You know what I'm saying? So you know, what I try to do is basically take all of the poisons out of our food that are in there and make everything from scratch, so the food can be more nutritious and more natural for the body. You know? That's dope. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I do. So, you know, I put a lot of work and a lot of effort into the food because what they say is you are what you eat, and that's very true. You know what I'm saying? So if all you're eating is poison and foods that change the natural condition of the body, eventually over time you start developing debilitating diseases like insulin resistance and you know, diabetes and kidney problems and heart problems and calcified arteries and things of that nature. And all of those things come from what you're putting in your mouth on a day-to-day basis. And these things are actually pushed upon us by, of course, our enemy, you know, and primarily things are targeted toward Jake. And there's a lot of confusion out there about nutrition and how different foods actually affect the body.
Nathaniel, real quick, brother, can I stop you real quick? I just want to introduce everybody who on the panel real quick. Man. No, you all good, brother. We gonna get into it. I know you fired up. All right. Who else we got in here?
Shalom, Yahweh Shemel Shai, Brakathum, Amuhan Gabar. Lord willing, this be edifying, straight and to the point as always. Shalom.
Shalom.
I'm Shemawan, you know, GMS, New York.
New York City.
New York City, brother.
All right, and before we get into all of the good edification Nathan Ya'ala got, we want Shemai one to just kick it off. I know he on the time limit now, so we're gonna get him to kick it off as far as everything we need to know about the digestive system, right?
It's the you know, it's called a alimentary canal. Starts from the mouth all the way down to the anus, and basically it starts with chewing, which is called mastication. All right, and also peristalsis. And that's a wave-like contraction that brings the food from your mouth to down the esophagus. And it's in a wave-like motion and contraction with muscular wall receptive relaxation. That propels the food to the stomach, where once it's in the stomach, there's a thing called churning, which takes hydrochloric acid and the food that's in your stomach, and it grinds it. It's called a churning action, and it's moving the food back and forth, right? Which turns the food into a white paste called chyme, and that paste is moved out of the end of the stomach, the pyloric sphincter, into the small intestines. I remember it as Dow Jones Industrial, duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. So once that chyme goes into the duodenum, there's let me get it. Let me take my time. It's the pancreatic duct. It connects with the duodenum, and it's the same place where the bile duct from the liver and the gallbladder joins the duodenum of the small intestine, and they call this the hepatopancreatic ampulla, where the pancreatic juice and bile is secreted into the duodenum, which causes that white chyme to turn brown. That's what gives, waste its pigment. But it's not fully waste yet, because once the chyme is moving through the duodenum of the small intestine, it's all of the nutrients is absorbed through the villi of the small intestine. So this is where you're gonna have the digestive juices breaking down the food, like you have fats, proteins, and other foods that's basically being absorbed through the villi of the small intestine. And then from there, it's moving into the jejunum. It's going to move into the jejunum of the small intestine, where it's absorbing water and more nutrients, but mainly more nutrients. And from there, it's gonna leave the ileocecal valve into the large intestine. All right, and there, once that's in the large intestine, is mainly water absorption. It's mainly everything is water. It's absorbing most of the water. But while all that food is moving through those chambers of the small intestine, it's each time it's moving. Could you show my hand? You see my hand? It's like each part of the small intestine is closing off while the paste is moving, and then it's turning like into ball forms. Like instead of paste, it's getting like more solid, because more water is being absorbed out of it until it reach the colon, where it's a signal. I forgot the signal. A signal is passed to let you know you gotta remove the waste out of your body. You know what I mean?
Con.
Did you want to know?
Yeah, add whatever else you had, brother. Let's go.
Basically the minerals. This is a book that I have. It's an old book I had. Basic Nutrition and Diet Therapy. Is by Nick's 14th edition, and it's basically talking about the minerals that your body needs, right? And it's hold on. It's 16 different minerals are needed in our diet, and the minerals, it goes from macro minerals, which are found in large quantities in the body, right? And also trace minerals, which is found in small quantities of the body, right? And those minerals are, the macro minerals are sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and sulfur, right? So some of the foods, the sodium is found in, chicken, cheese. Potassium, that's fruits, vegetables. Chloride, sea salt, olives. The calcium, milk. The phosphorus, nuts, fish. Magnesium, legumes like lentils. And the sulfur is found in eggs, milk. And the trace minerals are iron, which is you need iron, and you need iron for what they call hemoglobin. This is the oxygen molecule that moves oxygen and CO2 through your bloodstream. So basically the CO2 is like this. When the CO2, the way you get the oxygen is from your lungs, and when you go deep into the alveoli sacs of your lungs, there's a thing called a respiratory membrane. This is what oxygen and CO2, it diffuses into the blood. So CO2 is removed from your body, through that respiratory membrane that's in the lungs. Now, the hemoglobin, the oxygen carrying molecule, it carries iron through your blood, right? And also you can find this iron in like red meat, salmon, you brothers know. Zinc also, that's red meat and kale. Iodine, is in eggs, chicken, seaweed. Selenium, that's in Brazil nuts. Copper is in nuts and seeds. And fluoride, I'm not talking about the shit that they put in the toothpaste. I'm talking about the fluoride that's in grapes. You know what I mean? Chromium, that could be found in broccoli. Molybdenum, I know I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. That's in leafy veggies, black-eyed peas, and lima beans, and manganese, that's in nuts, seeds, hazelnuts, pecans, and brown rice. And you had asked me a question, what do the minerals do in the body?
Yeah.
They regulate the body processes like sodium and potassium, that's for nervous system function. The selenium works with vitamin E as an antioxidant, which prevents cell damage by oxygen. The liver deals with vitamins and the minerals. That's like it filters it. That's why the doctor would know if someone's using like drugs, like if they're using narcotics like oxycodons or whatever. Even if they clean their system out, it'll be like it'll be like something wrong, like your liver's like enlarged. So they'll know you're doing something you're not supposed to do because the liver filters it out. The sodium is muscle action like water balance and digestion. Potassium, that's muscle protein, nerve impulse, energy production, and also release on insulin from the pancreas. So potassium helps that. And the insulin, that's the hormone produced by the pancreas. It allows for glucose absorption in the cells. So if someone's diabetic, they'll have that insulin lingering in the bloodstream. Now the chloride is a chemical form of chlorine in the body. It maintains water and acid-base balances in the body, digestion, respiration, and it's also an element of hydrochloric acid in the stomach. The calcium is for blood clotting, muscle and nerve action, and metabolic reactions, secretion of insulin by the B cells of the pancreas. Now, phosphorus is for the energy molecule, like your body, the energy that makes you like do work when you work in construction or whatever. That's ATP, that's adenosine triphosphate. That's like a nuclear reaction of energy in your body, and it's in the powerhouse, the mitochondria of the cell, and it's metabolism is like that's the sum of chemical reactions. So you have anabolic metabolism and catabolic. That catabolic, it will break down that's something that will break down glycogen and the glucose, because that's the primary energy your body uses. The secondary would be like protein and fats. So that's when they say, the apostles and all the I can be like, yo, it's gonna be people starving and their body gonna feed off itself. Because the next sources, if that primary is not available, your body feeds off itself. So it's gonna go to get that protein that's stored. It's gonna go to get that those that fats from your body. And the metabolism is the sum of chemical reactions in the cell to maintain life. So this occurs in a powerhouse, that's the mitochondria in the cell. And there's two types of metabolism, like I mentioned, catabolism and anabolism. And the anabolism, it builds proteins from amino acids. The catabolism, it breaks down glycogen and the glucose. And they call it the Krebs cycle because it's energy production in the cell. So once again, ATP is adenosine triphosphate. That's the energy molecule that gives your body energy to do work. All of this, it takes energy. So that process of your food, the nutrients being absorbed, it is built to make that like calories is heat energy, and they call it K calories in the body, and that's it uses that ATP, adenosine triphosphate, right? And once again, glucose is the primary source of energy. Brothers know that. Protein is the last source of energy. And the body only breaks down protein for energy when glucose and fatty acids are in short supply. Glucose is stored in the liver for later use. Like that's a storage. If your body don't need it at the moment, it stores it. And magnesium, the other mineral, that's for it makes proteins break down for energy. So it makes magnesium helps for proteins and muscle contraction and for catabolism, breaking things down. Sulfurs, that's protein structure for hair, skin, nails, and cell metabolism and connective tissue. That would be like cartilage. And now the iron is stored in the liver. That's another mineral. Iron stored in the liver and the spleen. It's in red blood cells, because remember we mentioned hemoglobin that transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. Zinc, it helps with wound healing and healthy skin. And the white blood cells in the immune system. Now the iodine, that's another mineral. That's for basal metabolic rate. That's the number of calories you burn as your body perform basic life functions, like, and thyroxine produced in the thyroid gland. So thyroxine is produced in the thyroid gland, and this helps with that basically the number of calories you burn in your body, that heat energy. So selenium, it protects the cell membranes, and you need the cell membrane because that's like a city that's protected from. You have the city walls that protects, yeah. And that the cell membrane is mainly like cholesterol, because remember, oil and water don't mix, right? So copper, that's energy production, hemoglobin synthesis. So that helps with the hemoglobin, synthesizing hemoglobin, copper. And fluoride, I'm talking about not the fluoride in the water, I'm talking about the fluoride that's in grapes that helps prevent cavities, to strengthen your teeth. Chromium, that stimulates the action of insulin, and you need insulin. Molybdenum, I might be spelling that wrong, that prevents toxins from building up in the body. Manganese, that helps the body form connective tissues, bones, and blood clotting. And I think pretty much that's it. But you could get like more detail with the body system. This is Anatomy and Physiology, Bio 110. Just bear with me. I'm gonna get the author of the book when I get the chance, when other brothers start speaking. But
The author?
yeah, it's somewhere in there. Because when I was in school, they would hide the true author of the book, because you got a thing called test banks. That's what each textbook is like. You could study a textbook and fail an exam because each textbook is written like different. Even though it's the same thing, it's written different. and they word it different to trick you up. So the teachers have a thing called like test banks. So they try to get students from like finding out the text banks, which I found the shit out anyway. But yeah, because they know like only true people that read textbooks should be like PhDs. So a lot of professors are not PhDs, so they go by text banks, and that's how they trip up students, because they'll take text banks from different anatomy books and throw them together. And one thing, you brothers know, I don't want to keep blabbering, but this other book I had, Basic Nutrition and Diet Therapy, that was from Nick's, and that's a 14th edition. That's probably an old edition. And I had the other source for minerals, and that's by Wendy J. Dahl. That's DAHL and R. Elaine Turner, and that was and you could just look that up as facts of minerals, huh?
Yo, Sha, let me bring out some scripts real quick, bro. Huh. Let me get 8 the water, bro. The water for that. The water for that. You know, because everything always goes back to our main source. You know, I'm glad you brought out that book. You know, it all goes back to the main source, right? Because we're supposed to know this, man. This is for our edification. Understanding how different herbs work. I mean, understanding how different minerals, herbs work, right? You're supposed to be, you could be educated in these things, right? It says, Psalms 107:9, for he satisfied the longing soul and filleth the hungry soul with goodness, right? We understand that hunger is even more than what it's talking about, food, physical food. It's a figurative language for this truth as well. But you see how diet and nutrition goes hand in hand with a lot of figurative language in the scriptures, right? Psalms 132:15, I will abundantly bless her provision. I will satisfy her poor with bread. And so the Lord going definitely look out for Israel. We, you know, a lot of us is worried about what's going to happen in the time of Jacob's trouble. However, the Lord always told you that he's going to feed us and give us that food, all right, and sustain us through. I'm thinking of a scripture, but I can't quote it off the top of my head. Yeah, Yazian, you know what I'm thinking about?
What's up?
Let me see.
But
what was that scripture saying one more time, Salakia?
You know, just about feeding us when in time of Jacob's trouble, that we will eat.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
My servant shall eat. I got you.
There you go, my service.
Isaiah
45.
45. The water.
Yeah, just read it real quick when you get it. There was one in Job 2, right? Job 5 had to talk about famine.
There was another one.
Yeah, Job 5:22.
Yeah, because hey, a lot of what the brother just went into, your diet, all your organs that's sustained by these minerals that you get, or lack of minerals. A lot of it, and the brother Nathaniel Allah really gonna go into it as well. A lot of it, when you lacking these minerals, man, you're not gonna think right. You're not gonna have the energy to think right. One of the first things that shuts down through a famine are your organs. Yep. And yes, of course, your body starts eating itself according to Lamentations. We understand that it start to pine away, right? Your stomach starts to consume everything around it, you know, the stomach acids and whatnot. But the Lord gonna sustain us. Y'all got that?
Yeah.
I'll eat. All right, go ahead.
Y'all just gonna get it first, bro.
All right, I'm gonna grab it in my scriptures because this one right here, you said 45, right?
Yeah, my servant shall eat.
Isaiah 45. Why didn't one Muhammad? So
whoever got it first. Well, when you get what when you
I'll
look
pull it up real quick. I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. 65. I'm sorry. 65:13.
No doubt.
65:13.
65. Isaiah 65, verse 13. Right. It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And we understand that this is the time of Jacob's trouble. The Lord has already set up a time or determined the time, which means to determine means to terminate. All right. It's already a time that he has designed to be the end of you, the end of your time. Right. Thus for the some for the sword, those for the famine. Right. And so what he's going to cause is these food shortages to happen. Right. You already have to go to your enemy for the one of all things. All right. You're not knowledgeable on how to grow agriculture. All right. They're already mass producing fake meat. Brother just did an article on that 3D meat. And they want you to sit down and eat crickets at dinner time,
Right.
you know, and different bugs. So, but the Lord said, my servant shall eat. And by the way, according to the scriptures, ain't nothing wrong with eating grasshopper. Right.
Right.
And one of the most known prophets, John the Baptist, would eat locusts and wild honey.
Mm-hmm.
And so my servants will eat, because the Lord's servants are the ones that he's going to protect. That means he's not there for everybody. There's going to be amongst the ones eating, there's going to be many that are starving, many more that will starve, many more that will die of thirst. Right. I'm sure the body needs drink before it needs food.
Right.
Right. But read that last part of 13.
Yep. Done. And your body is mostly water. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It says, but you shall be. So like, I'll read it again. And part of my voice, I'm,
It's all right.
overcoming some bullshit. It says, therefore, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed.
Yeah, and but you shall be ashamed. So that shame is going to cover all of them, man. That shame is going to cover everybody that denies their heritage. All right, denies their heirship, which is your sonship, your adoption back to the Lord. Your denial of that will cause you to be ashamed when you can't eat and drink anymore. Food shortages. All right. Severe outages of food. All right. A lot of the power outages. If that happens, how is your food going to last through a few days without being frozen? All your frozen foods, all your stored foods, after 2, 3, 4 days, your refrigerator dries them up. And that's another way in which you would be out here starving. But not to veer off too much off topic, I wanted to finish this out so that the brother could jump up. Shemai one, you was good on that, right? Probably a little more.
Yeah, I sped up on that because I didn't want to keep.
It's all good. We got it. Yeah, we're gonna flow. We're gonna flow with it. This is on verse 25, Psalms 136 and 25. Who giveth food to all flesh, for his mercy endureth forever. All right, so we understand it's the Most High we getting this sustenance from. We never hesitant to remember that.
Right.
All right, his mercy endures forever, meaning the Lord is going to continue to be merciful towards us by sustaining us with that food and then teaching us which foods to eat and stay away from. Psalms 145 and 15, the eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest thine hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. So there it is. How you get your satisfaction? From eating. All right.
I got something else.
Right.
Let me finish this out. You got some preset?
In a minute. Hold on.
Yeah, go. Yep. Let me finish it out. Psalms 147 and 7. Sing unto the Lord with thanksgiving. Sing praise upon the harp of our power. So, verse 14. He maketh peace in thy borders and filleth thee with the finest of wheat. All right. Ecclesiastes 3 and 12. I know that there is no good in them but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life. It says, and also that every man should eat and drink and all good and all the good of all his labor. It is a gift of Yahweh. So that's what we're dealing with, man. The gift of the Father, which is, the sustenance that we could rely on, man. And the brothers is getting into all of the excellent different foods that the Lord has given us.
Hey, bro.
Go ahead.
I got something real quick, bro. All right, matter of fact, let me get Job, and then I got an example of something because I just kind of looked into this, and it's heavy through the spirit. But let me go to Job. What I say? Job chapter 5 and verse 19. 19 on down to 22. Because when that time come, Abarat is our Lord willing. Us brothers out there that have been enduring, doing the work, presenting our bodies a living sacrifice, giving diligence to make our call and election sure, and just pushing, getting down for our crown and do, because this is our reasonable service. Lord's will, when that time comes, we're gonna be fed, just like how how the Lord took care of us in the wilderness. And I want to bring up that example because it's gonna be another wilderness-like event to take place. A lot of Israelites are gonna die down. So this is Job chapter 5 and verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, which 6 troubles represent like Jacob's trouble, the time of affliction, which we are approaching at right now. In 7, there shall no evil touch thee. The 7 evil or the 7 troubles is the ICBM destruction. Psalms 91. All right, only with thine eyes shalt thou see the reward of the wicked. Verse 20 says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death. So brothers going to be taken care of in the time of famine. And guess what? The Lord is going to supply our body with what it needs, nutritious foods. All right, ain't gonna be no. Somebody got to mute their camera. Or their audio. So the Lord is going to provide food, that's beneficial to the body to sustain the body. In that time, ain't be no Lay's, potato chips, and bullshit. The Lord's going to provide us with what we need. And I'm gonna get that example in the book of Exodus. It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword, which the World War III is going to be by the way of ICBM missile. All right, which the sword just simply represents death and destruction. It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So during the time of destruction and famine, brothers are gonna laugh. Why is brothers gonna laugh? Because brothers are gonna be eating. All right, the Lord is gonna perform miracles somewhere, somehow. Brothers are gonna be eating. And real fast, I want to get Exodus chapter 16 and verse 13. And it came to pass that at even the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. All right, and this goes back to the wilderness. The Lord fed Israel with quail. All right, which quail is a lawful bird like poultry to eat. And real fast, I looked up, typed in the health benefits of quail. It says, compared to eating chicken, eating quail is better for you because quail meat is high in vitamin C and iron. Which, think about it, if you wander in the wilderness for how long, you will need vitamin C. You will need that iron. All right, Shammai one, the priest, he done went into how iron and vitamins and vitamin C, which would be considered micronutrients, all right, which is essential for the body, how essential it is for you. We need iron, we need vitamin C. Iron is good for the blood. Vitamin C, we need vitamin C. If you ain't getting vitamin C, and Sunny D is not going to give it to you. Sunny D is just packed with sugar, all right? You could get it from other sources, lemon, garlic, oranges, or you could take a supplement to add on more. But anyway, it says, quail meat is higher in vitamin C, is better for you. Quail gives you vitamin A, whereas chicken does not. And quail also gives you more minerals and amino acids than chicken meat. And that's heavy because Jake loves chicken. Jake thinks chicken is the most healthiest thing. Chicken breast, grilled chicken breast is the most healthiest thing. But here it is right here, right now. The Spirit, the Lord gave Israel quail to eat in the wilderness. Vitamin A. Real fast. I know Shammai one, he a scientist. He could buzz down the mass benefits of vitamin A in the heartbeat. Let me see. I'm gonna just pull it up real quick since I'm already here. Vitamin A benefits real quick. It says vitamin A is important for the immune system, reproduction, and growth and development. See, it just tells you, chicken doesn't provide that, but quail would, or quail does. Normal vision, vitamin A also help your heart, your lungs, and other organs work properly. All right, and hey, that's pretty much it right there. But I just looked it up, the health benefits of quail. You know, going back to as we going into how the Lord provided so much quail for Israel, you know, that it became overabundant. And it's going to be the same thing in these times. The Lord is going to provide. And even Jake was complaining about that. You know, they were complaining about that. The Lord provided the manna, the quail. Jake was all caught up on the things that they had in Egypt. But the Lord knows what's sustainable for us, man. And it's going to be the same thing in these times. You know, Jake may find a little quail or something in time. I'm talking about 2/3. And he complained because it's not enough. You know? And the Lord will just have that man waste away, pine away for the hunger because that man ain't got the faith. All right? But the Lord is going to sustain us in these last days. And it's going to be things that are going to be beyond nutritional for our bodies. You know, which, you know, I'm talking about, you know, Jacob's trouble. But even now, brothers got to be on a level to sustain the things that you eat, which is the reason why we going into the diet and nutrition. Mm-hmm. Because even before Jacob's trouble, you got to think about, you know, hold yourself down for now. You know, I mean, your body's a temple, so take care of it now. Yeah. You know, don't wait for all hell to break loose. But, you know, that's it, brothers. I pass the mic.
Hey, Nathan Yala, what you got for us? I'm going to unmute you.
I got a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where to start first, but
let's get it.
You know, we can just start from the beginning. You know, first things, forgive me. I got a lot of tabs open, so if y'all see me scrolling through, forgive me. I'm trying to, you know, get to, yes, these two. So this right here, y'all know about Hippocrates, right? And he wrote a statement, you know, just going into nutrition, and it said, I'm just going to read the first sentence. And it says, let thy food be thy medicine, and let thy medicine be thy food. Okay, now with that being said, what you put into your mouth is the most vital thing for your body. And, you know, what I've learned over the course of a few years is that you cannot allow other people or companies to decide what you put in your body and how, if you know what I mean. Like, basically, like when you go to the store and you buy bread, you're just thinking you're buying a loaf of bread, but what you're really buying is a loaf of poison because of all the ingredients that are in the bread. But you never paid no mind. But then after a few years, you start developing health conditions and you don't understand why, you know, because the food is literally poison. Now, I wanted to bring out a precept before I really got into it. Let me bring out my blue letter real quick. If it'll pull up. All right, well, my computer acting so I just pull it up on my phone. But this is Ezekiel 4:13, and it says, and the Lord saith, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles whither I have driven them. So, you know, all of our food here is defiled, and we're about to get into it. Okay. Now, the medicine is defiled. The food is defiled. Everything is poisonous in this society. If you go directly to the grocery stores and things of that nature to get your food, you have to be very mindful of the ingredients. You have to know what's on the back because the majority of that stuff is poison. So the next thing I want to get is this guy right here. So this guy right here is Rockefeller, right? John Rockefeller. And this guy, man, this dude just looked like a straight demon. But it says how Rockefeller founded Big Pharma and waged war on natural cures. Okay. So I'm just going to read some of it. It says Western medicine has some good points and has some and is great in emergencies, but it is high time people realize that today's mainstream medicine, Western medicine, and allopathy, with its focus on drugs, radiation, drugs, surgery, and drugs, and more drugs, is the foundation. Is foundation a money spinning Rockefeller creation. Now, I'm gonna scroll down a little bit in this paragraph, and I'm gonna go down to where he discovered a way to where he can turn oil into pharmaceutical products. Okay, so right here in this paragraph, it says World Affairs reports at the same time around 1900, scientists discovered pharmaceuticals and the ability to create all kinds of chemicals from oil. For the example, the first plastic called Bakelite was made from oil in 1907. Scientists were discovering various vitamins and guessed that many pharmaceutical drugs could be made from oil. Okay, so it's just not oil. Pharmaceutical drugs, they add these, and I was looking for the code, but I can't find it. You know, it takes some time to dig this stuff up in Slovakia. But next time we do something like this, I'll definitely have it. But the same code for food, according to the FDA, is the same code for a drug. Okay, so drugs and food, as far as the FDA is concerned, are the same thing. You see, so you have to be mindful of the food that you put in your body. So we're going to start off with one called Red 40. Now, they put red dye 40 in just about everything that has color. And it's one of the most widely used food products that you can put in your food. Put in your stuff. And it says red dye 40 is a systemic color additive or food dye made from petroleum. So what do you think drinking petroleum would do to your body over a period of time? Okay. And it says it is one of the 9 certified color additives approved by the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, for the use in food and beverages. It is also approved as a food dye for use within the European Union. And let's go down to some of the side effects. I think this is it. Scroll down a little bit more. It's probably down. Okay. Based on current evidence, the Environment Protection Agency has determined red dye 40. No, that's not true. Red dye 40, I didn't go through all that article pretty well, but red dye 40 has been proven to cause cancer. It's proven to cause right here, ADHD. Red dye 40 is commonly used as a systemic color additive. Some researchers have linked the food dye color into allergies, neural behavior side effects in children, including symptoms, attention deficit, hyper disorder. Now, you can go into these different articles and you can start reading that red number 40 is made from petroleum, and it has a system of different side effects that destroys the body. Now, where can you find red 40? Well, anything that's red. Anything that has the hue of red, purple, burgundy, like cranberry juice has this stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? Potato chips has this stuff in it. Different types of meats have this stuff in it. So these things are very toxic to the body, and it's everywhere. All right. So, I'm just scratching the surface of some things. There's another additive. This is called aborted fetal cells used as food flavoring enhancers. This company is called Simonex, and it says I'm gonna just scroll down to here. It says hex cell human embryonic kidney 293 cells is often referred to as HEK 293. 293 cells or less precisely as HEK cells as specific cell line originally derived from human embryonic kidney cells grown in tissue cultures. HEK 293 cells are very easy to grow and transfect very rapidly and have been widely used in cell biology research for many years. They also used by the biotech industry to produce therapeutic proteins and viruses for gene therapy. So here's some of the products that they put this stuff in. All PepsiCo drinks, Sierra Mist, Mountain Dew, Root Mug, root beer, Ocean Spray beverages. So if you like cranberry juice and different things of that nature, it's in there. Seattle's Best Coffee, Tazo beverages, Aquafina water. So for people who like Aquafina, you're drinking freaking kidney DNA. Double shot energy drinks, Frappuccinos, Lipton iced tea and other beverages, Propel beverages, Sobe beverages, Gatorade, Fiesta Meridian beverages, Tropicana juices and beverages, Kraft, Black chewing gum, Bubbaloo bubble gum, Bubblicious bubble gum, Clictics, Corettes, Dentine, Freshen Up, Sour cherry gum, Sour apple gum, Stride, Trident, Sour cherry blast, Fruit Mania, And you know, you can see all of this different stuff. We don't have to go through it all, but as I scroll through the list, you see how many foods that we come across on a day-to-day basis that this stuff is in. So this is another poison that they put in our food, and it's widespread. So let's move on to the next thing. Okay. This right here is it's called Arteria. This is it's like a tobacco company called Arteria, and it bought Kraft Foods for $1.3 billion in 1988. Okay. So these companies, and I'm just going to give you all the overview. So this company puts the same type of poisons that cause you to be addicted to cigarettes in the food. Okay. Rewind to 1985. Arteria buys General Foods. So your General Food like Kellogg's and those different cereal components are Jell-O. All of those different things are owned by these tobacco companies. Okay. Arteria buys its rivals out of food. Okay, so you have these big companies. So Kraft was the last one that they bought, I believe, in 2001. A lot of their foods are banned in other countries because they are poison. Okay, and the people in this country are just so gone in the mind that they don't even take the time to research what's actually in the food products that they here it is right here. The dangers of red 40 to a person's health. And it said, go ahead.
Yeah, shalom to Akim Yabashim Shabakatam, man.
Shalom,
What's going on?
Absolutely. Call the wild, brother. So I wanted to compliment the brother Nathaniel, and you know, he's a good kinsman of mine. I've seen him in action. He actually practices what he preaches. He makes his meals from scratch. He feeds his children from scratch. He makes his dough, his bread from scratch. The brother juices, and basically what we're seeing here is, even though it's a social norm in our society to consume these things, and we're such in a rush, but if you do it, you're gonna lose though. We really can't afford to put these things in our body because, like the brother said, they're poison. And whether it has an immediate effect on you or long term, it still have an effect on you. So this is it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 9. It says, "Remember the former things of old." All right. Now I saw it was a bit of document that was speaking on the grocery store and the makeup of the grocery store now, and in comparison to about a century ago or several decades ago. And 90% of what's in the grocery stores now was not there 50 to 60 to 70 years ago. All right. And so what is that? That stuff is synthetic. That stuff is not food, like the brother said. It's actual poison, man. You know, so just a small thing with the drinks. I heard you mention a lot of different drinks, beverages, and certain chemicals that come along with them. It's as simple as spring water. And of course, you know, we understand certain things are still defiled to a certain extent. But when you're consuming water, let it be spring water, you know, and also juicing, and the Apostle Gabar goes in on that as well. Juicing is very important. If you want to drink something sweet, if you want to, you know, drink some quote unquote fruit juice, all right, well, invest in a juicing machine, all right, because you can buy bulk fruit, and you can do it in that format, because in the ancient world it wasn't processed orange juice, it wasn't gas station drinks and all this madness. They had fresh cold pressed juice. They actually pressed the fruit to for their juice, which was a lot more nutritional. So I'm going to finish this scripture off, and I'm going to give it back to the brother. It says, "Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me." So the ways of the Heavenly Father, I believe that's in the book of Ezekiel, he tells the house of Israel, he said, "Are not my ways equal, and are not your ways unequal, O house of Israel?" You see, so the ways of the Heavenly Father, they're profitable. you know, they bring forth fruit. But if we are to follow, because, you know, if we're going to follow Esau, I mean, that's going to lead us to taking a chip. You see, it comes a point with this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, we have to separate ourselves from this man's system. And that goes with what you're consuming. You know, if you have the willpower, if you have the capability, which I believe all brothers do, you know, it's just about how bad you want it. Then you're going to make those investments. You're going to, you know, organize your life into a certain format so you can consume and feed your family with the right things, man. You know, you got it out. You can continue on.
All right. So going back to right here, the dangers of red 40. It says, just scroll down. It says there are many potential hazards of red dye 40. Major causes of concern, unlike other dyes, red 40 is not excreted from your body. This leads to the accumulation of red dye 40 and leads to many ailments in the body that are harmful in the long run. Red dye 40 food color is used in the following products: gelatin powder, drugs, cosmetics, cereal, candy, baked goods. It's pretty much everything we eat. It says red dye 40 is derived from petroleum, and there are many side effects of red dye 40 if taken for a prolonged period of time. Red dye 40 is prepared. What did it do? Okay. It just kind of like switched up on me. It says red dye 40 is prepared from coal tars by mixing hydrocarbons together. Here are some of the dangerous red dye 40 to a person's health. Red dye 40 is the root of many problems, which include swelling around the mouth. Besides, the red 40 dye also leads to hives, which contain some contaminants that leads to cancer and also causes hyperactivity in kids. All these findings are substantiated by a large number of medical studies, and tests have been concluded in the labs to verify the claims of numerous children who consume high quantities of food which consist of red 40 food color. I'm gonna just tell you a little story real quick. And I'm big on stories. My stepdaughter, who's 18 years old, just had to have gallbladder surgery. You know, and one of her favorite foods to eat was Takis. Now, Takis is high in red 40. That's why it's red. So her gallbladder filled up to the point to where it was about to burst. And if it would have burst, it would have killed her. Now, she's 18 years old. Why is her gallbladder filled with all of this putrid poison? You know? So we're going to move on to the next thing.
That's all you see if you driving by the bus stop. You know, my father used to take us, you know, he used to drive me around, and every time at the bus stop, he'd see a 200-pound 16-year-old, and he'd always point her out. Look what she got in her hand, the bag of chips. And I mean, they go crazy for them Takis and them hot Cheeto fries, and that's what really Jake is raised up on, that poison, man. Real quick, I want to grab something real quick. This is Job 15:27. It says, because he covereth his face with his fatness and maketh collops of fat on his flanks. And in the NLT, it says, these wicked people are heavy and prosperous. Their waist bulge with fat. You know, but these days, it's not just the rich that got the fat waists and the, you know, you go into Isaiah, the first chapter, was that third chapter? It tells you how they gird, you know, they're fat around their waist, you know, gird. Y'all know what I'm referencing, right?
Yeah, about the woman.
Yeah, about the woman. Yeah, and that's just one of these. That's what I was thinking about as you were speaking. That's just one of these curses on our people, is that overeat and overindulgent, man. You know, and you get into that spirit of gluttony, overconsumption of food, which is another issue, because you can't have nutrition. Here it is, you know, all these nutritional facts coming out, right? And then you still over consuming the BS, man. You know, because it's cheap. You know, the scriptures talk about victuals becoming cheap in these end times, and the food is cheap. And what they want to do, overconsume it, man. People's fridge is filled with nothing but like what they call it, bad carbs, right? Yep. Little fast, what is it, fast carbs?
Yeah. Yep.
I got too.
The bad carbs, yeah.
You know, and why do they eat that? Because it's easy and it's cheap. You got it.
It's actually called simple carbs.
Mm.
And then you got the complex carbs. The simple carbs would be what you're talking about, like the brothers, the Takis, the chips, the sodas, the popcorn. That's simple carbs. You know, but then you got the complex carbs, which would be your vegetables, your whole grain, and those obviously are they're a natural source of carbohydrates, which carbs ain't bad for you. You know, it's whatever source you go to. Now, just like anything else, it's a balance. You got good and bad, you know, good and evil, right? Now, Esau set up the evil shit, the bad shit, which is pretty much sugar. Simple carbs is nothing but sugar. All right. Now, like Shimon got into earlier, you know, everything you eat, it pretty much converts into glucose, which is your body's natural way of creating sugar. So if you're eating sugar, simple carbs, soda, then what the hell is that? What is your body converting already sugar, artificial sugar into? That's how you get diabetes. You know what I'm saying? All that overload on sugar. But now if you do complex carbs, you know, that digests or that distributes throughout your body over time. It doesn't just process right away. Like, that's why you feel more full if you eat brown rice or black rice, wild rice, whole grain. You feel more fuller because it takes longer to break down. It takes longer to digest in your body to release that glucose in your body. So it sustains you for a longer period of time. That's why when you eat simple carbs, you get hungry right away. You know, you may go to the movies, eat popcorn and popcorn and drink soda and them little snacks that they got. You hungry as soon as you get back to the crib. You know, so them simple carbs they just keep you hungry. That sugar keeps you hungry. It messes your body up. So complex carbs, oatmeal, you know, any type of vegetable, green vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, and stuff like that, you know. But yeah, just to answer your question, bro, you said what was it? Simple carbs versus complex carbs. You know.
Hey, Bob, you got some? You got a preset?
Yeah, I got a preset. So this is the book of this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1. It says, "A false balance is abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight." And like the brother Amon was going into, when you're consuming these pseudo carbs or these sugary treats, you know, what it does is, it causes your body and your metabolism to think that you're not full and you're not satiated, and you're not, because you didn't receive nutrients. You didn't receive the zinc. You didn't receive the iodine. You didn't receive the fiber. These are the nutrients and the minerals that your anatomy, that your body needs to be comforted, that it needs to function properly. And when you're just consuming something that doesn't have a high nutritional value, you're liable to overconsume, which is going to be an abomination. And not only is it an abomination because you're being gluttonous in that regard, but it's abomination because these things, we talk about these pseudo carbs and things of that nature, they're just bad for you, period. It doesn't matter if you take a small amount or a large amount. You know, it's terrible for your body. And we're coming into the time, especially considering that brothers are about to be receiving spiritual powers. Brothers are about to be healing. You know, brothers are about to come up on another level. So we really do, Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, he really is requiring us to separate ourselves from this man devices, because this food, when you're dealing with, of course, we understand that, yes, you know, it's not the food that it was 1,000 years ago. It's not the Garden of Eden. We understand that. But there is a difference between you investing in some whole foods, which whole mean complete, you know, or some, you know, some healthy so-called organic vegetables. It's a difference from you consuming that and you consuming some sugary sweets. You know, and that has to be considered. And also, furthermore, the brother was mentioning how certain these foods are cheap, like these these foods that are not necessarily good for you. But it's a way you can go about consuming healthy food. You can meal prep, which that's going to save you more money than you going and buying this bullshit, period. If you meal prepping saves a lot of money. And also, you know, we're a family. We're, you know, with the Akim, so on and so forth, you can consider wholesale. You know, wholesale saves a lot of money. So say, for instance, you can wholesale on, you know, bags of rice and split it up amongst maybe another brother. So a brother have some brown rice for his household, you have brown rice for your household, and you can eat a big 20-pound, 30-pound bag of rice that'll last you a long time. You can go wholesale, you can go to the meat market and get a goat's leg or a cow leg, something like that. You know, you go in with a couple brothers. You know, it might take a little bit longer. Like, okay, I got to process it, you know, maybe butcher it up a little bit. It's only going to take a couple hours, though, but you're going to be eating completely different. Sometimes we just got to slow down and just reprioritize what we consuming, you know. You go ahead, Akim.
Brother Nathaniel, you want to get back in it?
Gone, man, gone. It's a couple more articles to go over. And just to land back on what the brother was saying, you know, we had actually been talking about purchasing a cow and having that thing slaughtered, you know what I'm saying, on our own, you know. But yeah, because you know, I got some Issacharites that have a farm, you know what I'm saying, and we've been talking about purchasing an organic cow, a cow that's grass fed, that doesn't have that bovine growth hormone in it that causes the meat to become putrefied. The meat isn't cancerified. They're not cutting out the cancerous tissue and then selling it to you, because that's what they do. But I'm gonna continue on with these articles. Then we're gonna go into the what you can do. You know what I'm saying? So this right here is 30 common U.S. foods that are banned in other countries. Oh yeah. So farm-raised salmon. People in the United States love salmon. However, farm-raised salmon available in America is fed astaxanthin to give it its color. Salmon containing this petrochemical is banned for consumption in Australia and New Zealand. So as you can see, they put in petroleum products in the food. Okay. The next one is dairy with RBST or RBGH hormones. Milk in the United States, unless marked as otherwise, is treated with a RBST or RBGH, which are artificial hormones that stimulate milk production. The FDA says that there is no difference in the milk produced by cows treated with the hormone, but countries like Canada and those in Europe, the European Union, banned it. Yeah. Okay. So continuing on, Mountain Dew. We already know about that. You drinking that, you off anyway. Chicken. Yeah, chicken banned in other countries. Chicken produced in the United States gets washed in chlorine to reduce the risk of spreading disease and illness like salmonella. The practice is banned in the United Kingdom and in Europe because it promotes unsanitary farming practices. So basically, they can treat their chicken like garbage, and the chicken can be covered in fecal matter, and then they'll just butcher it and sell it to you. You know, and they'll even sell you birds that died on their own accord. You know what I'm saying? A bird that just died, and they'll kill that thing, put it on the shelf, and sell it to you because they have techniques used to preserve and to make these meats look better than what they actually are. All right. The next is beef. Beef with ractopamine. In the United States, farmers use this ractopamine to increase lean muscle growth in livestock, including in 40 to 60% of pigs. We don't eat that anyway. Elsewhere, 160 nations, including the European Union, Russia, and China, ban the use of this meat in their production. And the Chinese, they eat cats and dogs and rats and bats, and they ban this shit. You know, continuing on, Swiss rolls, Little Debbie Swiss rolls. It contains, of course, yellow number 5 and red number 40. We already covered the toxicity of that. Arby's sourdough breakfast and croissant French toast sticks. The fast food chains using the chemical, I can't even pronounce that. And the rule of thumb, if you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't be putting it in your body. As a whitening agent and dough conditioner in its baked goods, although it is used as decreasing in the United States because of concerns of its carcinogen in the FDA still is permitted. It was banned in Europe. So this stuff is carcinogenic, which means it causes cancer, and it is banned in other countries, but in the U.S., they feed it to us. All right, Frosted Flakes, BHT. BHT flavor enhancer has long been studied. Now, this is in almost all General Mills and Kellogg's produced products.
Damn.
Okay. Continuing on, coffee creamer, trans fat like partially hydrogenated soybean and cotton oils in coffee made are linked to heart disease and were officially banned in the U.S. as of June 18, 2018. However, they still linger in the U.S. food supply. They also banned in many other countries such as Switzerland, Australia, Hungary, Iceland, and Norway. So, continuing on, it's just stovetop stuffing, drumstick frozen dairy dessert, Skittles, wheat thins, Gatorade, Pop-Tarts, Farmer John pork sausage, we don't eat that anyway, Lucky Charms, bread tainted with potassium bromate, Tostino's corn salsa, they sell this stuff to us, Ritz crackers, okay? Ritz is the third leading cracker banned in the United States. It's banned in Switzerland, Hungary, Iceland, Norway, Denmark. It is toxic. Fresca, all right? Genetically engineered papaya, Pillsbury biscuits. You see all this stuff that we see on a day-to-day basis: Sunkist soda, fudge brownies, Pillsbury pie crust.
Like 50% of the cabinet right there for a lot of Jakes.
Yeah, high fructose corn syrup, which is everything. So we're not going to linger on with this, but I just wanted to give you all, overview of how many things in this country that are actually banned. I mean, in overseas that are banned, but are still produced, are still given here. So the next one we're going to get is sugar. Okay, sugar. We kept going into sugar. The brother brought it out, Yaquab and the brother Adawon Gabar, he brought it out, the dangers of sugar, because sugar, what it is a highly processed form of sugar. Okay, it is a highly processed. It is not it's not complex. You see, your body, the way your body is designed when you consume food to break the food down slowly. Okay, so that your body can absorb all of the nutrients and benefits of the food that you're consuming properly. Okay, when you take something that's highly processed, your body cannot recognize it because it is not natural. It is not a substance that's naturally occurring in nature. When the Lord created man and he created the fruits of the earth, he created them in tangent with one another. So that's why he said that all of the fruit bearing seed is good for meat, because it's good for us to eat. It's good for our bodies. It has regenerative properties in it. What Esau does is he takes all of the things and refine them to the point to where they become toxic. Okay, so the danger, too much added sugar can be one of the greatest threats to cardiovascular disease. Here's how to curb your sweets. So we're not going to get into all that stuff. We're just going to go into where it says, since your body digests food slowly, the sugar in them often a steady supply of energy in your cells. A high intake of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains also has been shown to reduce the risk of chronic disease such as diabetes, heart disease, and some cancers. However, problems occurring when consuming too much sugar is that sugar that is sugar that food manufacturers add to produce products to increase flavor or shelf life. It says scientists have proven that chronic low-grade inflammation can turn into a silent killer that contributes to cardiovascular disease, cancer type 2, diabetes, and other conditions. You see that? Get simple tips on how to fight inflammation and stay healthy. So, sugar is a silent killer. Did you know that a can of Coca-Cola, half of it is liquid sugar? The whole can, half of it is liquid sugar. Now, let me tell you something. If you take the amount of sugar that's in a Coca-Cola and just drink it, you will vomit it up. Your body will not recognize it and your body will vomit it up. What they do is they put a certain chemical inside of the Coke to trick the body into thinking that it is actually something that the body can use. So then your body keeps it down. That's what they do. You see what I'm saying? So your body is keeping the poison in. So now you're wondering why we have this influx of diabetes, this influx of heart disease, of hypertension, all of these fungal infections and different things that are happening to the body, because things that you were never meant to eat are going into your body. Okay, so we're going to continue on. Wax on fruits. Okay, so when you go to the store and you buy fruit, you notice that it's this shiny substance on the fruit, right? You notice that, right? You see this. What is that? That is a preservative that they spray on the fruit to make the fruit last longer. Well, this wax causes a lot of diseases in the body, okay? Because it is a petroleum-based wax. You see? And it says right here, it says, ignorant is bliss unless you are on a special diet or prefer to avoid eating fossil fuels. So, you know, you can get into this, but this article, for time's sake, I'm not going to read it. But just to tell you all, wax coatings are put on these fruits as a preservative. And if you don't wash them off properly, you are eating the wax. This stuff is on strawberries, cherries, grapes, apples, oranges, peaches, plums, whatever you can think of that's in the store. It has this wax coating on you. Have you ever wondered how is it that this?
Let the people know how to wash it off correctly.
Okay, so the crazy thing is that if you take baking soda, okay, water and vinegar, it will dissolve the wax from your fruits and vegetables. So everything that I eat, including like chicken or beef or anything, I always wash it. I wash the meats in vinegar, because once you put the meat in the vinegar water, you will start to see the bacteria, the fungus, and the mold separate itself from the meat. Okay, because if you eat that, you're eating the fecal matter from the food being processed in unsanitary conditions. You're eating that. Okay, you're eating the chemicals that are on the food. Okay, so when you soak that food in the vinegar extracts all that stuff, and you can see it in the water. And the same with the fruits. The fruit will actually change color. Not the fruit, but the water will actually change color to like a light brownish color, because the alkalinity of the water is going to cause the oil to dissolve. Okay, so that's how you get it off. But it's better to try to find organic fruits that are not sprayed with the substance in the first place, because truly, if it's sprayed with the substance is going to absorb into the fruit itself. So even if you get all of the wax off, it's still within the fruit itself. So when you eat the fruit, you're eating this poison. Okay, so we're going to close that out. Now we're going to go into some of the health benefits of eating healthy. A healthy diet is typically includes of nutrient-dense foods from all major food groups, including lean proteins, whole grains, healthy fats, and fruits and vegetables, and many colors. Now, I just want to clear something up. They will have you believe that animal fats like butters and things of that nature, and olive oil and avocado oil are bad for you. No, these fats are actually good for the body, okay? Because these fats are the ones that causes mineral and energy transfer throughout the body, okay? Now, homogenated oils, or oils that are created under high pressure and high heat, like rapeseed oil, which we call canola oil, is highly toxic, okay? Vegetable oil, which it's not actual vegetable oil. It's made from, I can't remember exactly what it's made from, but it's not made from the vegetables that you and I eat. They just call it that. Cottonseed oil, grapeseed oil, all of these different oils that are created under a high pressure and high heat are very toxic to the body. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. It says eating habits also include replacing foods that contains trans fats and added salts and sugars with more nutritional options. Now, salt is also a big killer. You know, sodium is too much sodium can do things like clog up your kidneys, okay, and cause high blood pressure and things of that nature, because of the sodium content in the food. Now, you think when you eat food, right? You think that, oh, it doesn't taste salty. It doesn't. There's no. Esau has a way of making, because he puts the salt and the sugar in the food as a preservative. Okay, these things are preservative to keep the food fresh. Have you ever wondered why a loaf of bread? Now, I make bread fresh. How is it that a loaf of bread that I put in my cabinet will last 2 weeks, but a loaf of bread that I make from scratch will last 3 days? What are you putting in this bread to make it last so long? You see? So I'm going to eat that. My children are going to eat that, and this is why we become obese. This is why we become sick. This is why we have weak immune systems, because of the poisons that they put in the food on the shelf, okay? It says, now we're not going to get into this. We're just going to get into the whole thing. We're just going to get into high blood pressure or hypertension is a growing concern in the U.S. The condition can lead to heart attack. It may be possible to prevent up to 80% of premature heart disease and stroke diagnosis with lifestyle changes. Now, I just want to get into something. The word diet does not mean, oh, I'm just going to cut back on certain stuff. Diet is a way of life, okay? A diet literally means a way of life. So when you eat certain foods, that food is your way of life. That is how you're living from day to day. And as I brought out earlier, you are what you eat. Let thy medicine be thy food, and thy food be thy medicine. So if you're eating garbage, you're putting poison in your body. If you're eating pink slime from McDonald's and Burger King and things of that nature and artificially made buns, you're putting poison in your body. This is why we have such, and let me tell you something, Jake is a target. This is why all of these different these different food companies primarily target impoverished neighborhoods. That's why when you go into certain neighborhoods, it's what we call a food desert, because they don't have the nutritionally dense food that you will go out in the Edomite neighborhoods and pick up. You see what I'm saying? So Jake is at a disadvantage. They purposely put certain toxic foods in Jake community, like milk, for instance, like we just read about the milk with the certain chemicals in it. That stuff is shipped out into Jake neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And our people be drinking that crap. It says the food people can eat can reduce blood pressure and help keep their hearts healthy. Okay. So we're just going to get into some of this, eating plenty of vegetables and fruits and whole grains. Now, this is really important because fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, especially fruits. Fruits is one of the best things you can eat because fruit contain the fiber and the pectin within the fruit to make you feel full. Okay. Also giving you the same benefits.
Got a quick one for you.
Go ahead.
This is Genesis 1:29. And Yahweh said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so.
See?
You got it, brother.
Beautiful precept. Okay, so let me ask a question, and it's a rhetorical question. When you eat fruits and vegetables, is the fruit alive or dead? It's alive. It's living. It's living. So you're putting living, a living organism into your body to regenerate your body. You see? But when you go out and you eat what Esau has done, you're not eating living. You're eating death. So what happens? What comes with that food when you eat it? All of the diseases and problems that come with it. Okay. Fruits, whole grains, choosing fat-free or low-fat dairy products, fish, poultry, beans, nuts, and vegetable oils. Now, vegetable oils, no, that's not true. Vegetable oils are very toxic and caustic for the body unless it is olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, or different types of butters that are organic butters, butters that come from cows. All of these things are good for you. Regardless of what they say, it's good for you. Limiting drinks and foods that contain added sugar. Everything has a ton of sugar. This is why we make our food. I make my food from scratch. Okay. Not only does the food taste 100 times better than buying it, it is better for my body. Okay. Restricting sodium intake to less than 2,300 milligrams per day, ideally 1,500 milligrams per day. We were just talking about the consumption of sodium. All right. So I'm going to get into some things that can help your body. Okay. So these are some of the, before I get into that, these are some of the things that causes your body to become into a disease state. Now, there's something that we have, it's called the microbiota gut-brain axis. Okay. Now, I'm not going to get into the specifics of the article because it's kind of a complicated read, but what I will say is that there is a direct correlation between the functionality of your brain and the health of your intestines, okay? It is a direct correlation between what you put in here and what goes in here. You see what I'm saying? So if down here is messed up here is going to be messed up too. So here you have, for instance, schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is when the neural pathways are coated with mucus. Okay, where does that mucus come from? It comes from the bull crap that you put inside of your body. okay? Because none of this stuff isn't being expelled properly out of your body, because most people have at least 10 pounds of poop inside of their stomach, and they eat a whole bunch of toxic foods that clog up their intestinal tract, so they cannot discharge the waste properly. So over time, the poop builds up in their stomach, and then because they have bad gut health, which is the center of the health of the body, right? This is where your intestines is the primary place where all of the health is distributed at. This is where you have the most receptors for vitamin and mineral absorption in the body. This is where your water and your food is dispersed throughout the body. It all goes through your intestinal tract. So if your intestinal tract is unhealthy, the rest of you is going to be unhealthy as well.
Now, I got a precept, bro.
Go ahead,
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 31, and I'll start at 19. It says, very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured, and he fetcheth not his wind short upon his bed. Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He riseth up early, and his wits are with him, which is his mind. Just to add on to what you're saying through the spirit, you know, the gut, the mind and gut health, how they coincide with each other, what you eat, them like you just mentioned, the pounds and pounds of toxic waste, which is the fecal matter, the shit, you know. So sound sleep comes from moderate eating. So moderately eating, and not just moderately eating, but eating the right foods, like you mentioned. Also, diet means a way of life, proper diet. All right. It says he rise up early, and his wits are with him, meaning his mind. All right. So you eat right, your mind will be right. Point blank. Period. You know, you eating, because remember, parasites is another thing. You know, parasites can infest the body and really take control of your body. Parasite is a demon. A parasite can really take over your mind, bro. Mm-hmm. You know, Lord, hey, we probably get into that now or some other time, but parasites is a damn demon. You know, it says his wits are with him, but the pain of watching and chola, which is a disease and sickness, and the pangs of the belly, the pains are with the unsatiable man, a man that doesn't have control over what he eats. So what happens with that man that does not have control over what he eats? He ain't functioning properly. His mind ain't right. All he can think about is eating. And guess what? He's targeting the foods that are high in MSG. You know, like you said, Esau be hiding the salt. You know, the preservatives, because we know salt is a preservative. You know, and things that last long, it's got to be high in salt, aka sodium, to have it be lasting that long, giving them long shelf lives. You know, canned goods, high in salt. You know, a lot of things that just last long is just high in salt, sodium. You know, but anyways, you know, just to land back what you're saying, it says, and if thou hast been forced to eat, arise and go forth and vomit, and thou shalt have rest. And that's funny, it says vomit, because you mentioned also too how with the Coca-Cola, because they did a diagram. You know, they showed you a bottle of Coke and how much grams of sugar it had, and they show you actual illustration of white sugar in a cup, a measuring cup, and the white sugar was damn near halfway, if not 4 ounces, not 4 ounces, but it was high up there, bro. It was enough that if you swallow back that white sugar, you would vomit.
As a spirit, bro,
you would vomit.
That
You know, yeah, absolutely, bro. Cotton candy ain't nothing but sugar. You know, hey, bro, this diet shit is serious, bro. Matter of fact, let me get one more precept and I'm gonna let you go on with that, what you're saying, bro. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter, hold on one second. Hold on 1 minute, bear me one moment. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 30 and verse 15. It says, health and good estate of body are above all gold. So being healthy, you know, having a healthy state of body, a good estate of your body is above riches. And how does that come? One, by following the dietary laws of the Heavenly Father. You know, that's number one. Number two is having a balance. Because even though the Lord gave us dietary laws, don't mean you can overconsume beef, lamb, you know, things that are edible. Don't overconsume it. There's a balance behind it. And even exercise, which Lord willing, I repile my, you know, you said that was gonna be the next segment of your show eventually was the exercise. But even that comes into play when it comes to the diet. The body functions as a unit. You know, you can't have one without the other, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sleep, diet, health, nutrition, exercise, they all play a major role into making this body functional. And the Lord gave us these things, even though we in his weak, decrepit bodies, there's a level of maintenance we got to keep even still. You know what I'm saying? So it says health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. So it's best to have a healthy body, healthy state of mind, because if you have a healthy body, your mind is healthy, you eating right to the best of your ability. Now we know we in hell, don't mean we got to eat shit that hell have to offer. You know what I'm saying? The low grade stuff. Yeah. You know, even though we try to get the good fruits and vegetables and all that, we still gonna get the bullshit. But it's better than eating them fast food, them trans fat food, them fats that change up in your body, clog your arteries, you know, raise your blood pressure, give you diabetes, you know, not having your body to produce its own natural insulin, you know. Stay away from them things, man. And that's what this lesson is gearing towards. You know, if you've been following, it says there is no riches above a sound body, a good body, a body that is healthy. You know, no riches can top that, because you can't buy a healthy body. Doesn't matter how much heart transplants you get, how many kidney transplants you get, liver transplants, or whatever type of transplant you're trying to get, it's never going to be the same. All right. Like I was telling a dude on the job today, we was talking about something, but they say 30 years of a bad diet, you can't make up for that in 3 months or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? You can't. It's impossible. You know, it's impossible. You done wore your body out. You done wore yourself out for 10 years, 20 years, but you expect fast results overnight. That's impossible. That's why, again, brother, like you said, the Daniela, the word diet, it literally means dietero and whatever tongue I forget, but it literally means a way of life. You know, a diet is not just a phase or a segment of your life. Yeah, I'm on a diet. It's really your lifestyle, bro. Now we come short, we fall off. We don't fall off plenty of times. We eat good, and then some shit may happen. You exercising, some shit may happen. You may lose your job, then you home for a couple months. You may get laid off. Now you home for a couple months. Now I was thinking about this earlier too. Working is great. It's good to work. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to all be working as men, and work actually occupy your time, because without work actually going on a job and laboring, let's say you go out there, you working for 8 hours. It take you an hour to get there, an hour to come back, and then 8 hours actually working. That's 8 hours just exercising yourself, you know, moving, physically, grinding, whatever. Now, if you don't have them 8 hours, now you got 8 hours idle time at home. Doing what? Sitting on the couch, getting fat, drinking liquor,
being bored,
doing bullshit. You know? Yeah. So hey, I use work as a stream of, you know, trying to stay fit to the best of my ability, bro. You know, it's 8 hours that you have to burn. You know, you got to pay them bills, so you might as well. You know.
Hey, when you're working, also, brother, you can monitor your body. Like, there's some days you're gonna come in you groggy. Yesterday you was good, but today you all messed up. You start considering what you ate. You start considering how much you had. Yeah, you get real critical of what you take back. You know, there's a scripture that talk about redeeming the time, which means buying back your time. That's essentially like in this last days, you gotta take your time back. You know, from a lot of people, you got to sacrifice this, that, just to take your time back. It worked the same way with the body. It's more discipline than anything. When you at work, you can notice, man, I'm tired today. What the hell happened, man? Oh, I was up all night doing this. Exactly. And a lot of that irregular sleeping come from a bad diet too. You'll be surprised. You'll be thinking better with a decent diet, right? You use the bathroom more times, more often, right? They say they act like using the bathroom more often is a bad thing.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful thing, man. That means the foods is passing through as they should. Yeah. You know, a lot faster. And after you, I got something too.
Yeah, no, beautiful points, bro. Shit, beautiful points, man. Like you said, you know, work, you know, going on the grind, which, you know, we gotta work with slavery, whatever, but that's no excuse. It helps monitor your lifestyle. Whether you was fucking around the night before and got 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep, you're gonna know. I'm gonna know. Lord, you know, you're gonna know if you're paying attention to your body what you did wrong, and then you know how to fix it. You know, we talked about it already, bro. You know, I personally, you know, if I gotta go out there, the shit I do, I don't fuck with my sleep, bro. I make sure I get my sleep because I know how I'm gonna be if I don't get enough sleep out there. So I try to get enough things done throughout the day. You know, time management, bro. Time management is another thing that people don't really pay attention to, bro. Time management is important, bro. Manage your time properly. If you manage your time properly, you manage the way you eat. When to cut off your eating point. When to do certain things. Just manage everything, bro. I mean, we're men. Be responsible, bro. You know, time management, money management, whatever management. You know what I'm saying? Time management is very important, bro, because time management actually organizes your daily structure, so to speak, even with this truth. When you're going to do your videos, when you're going to do your lessons, when you got to go to camp, get ready for camp, go to sleep, eat your food, get your house in order, your kids, your woman, your that, blah, blah, whatever. Time management is important. That's another thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't just be winging shit 24/7. You know, don't be winging shit, bro. You know, that shit is like, come on. Hey, you said redeeming the time, meaning buy back the time. Because if you keep fucking with time, you ain't getting that back. You're not getting that back, bro. I always tell people that shit. Time is the one thing you can never get back. So use that shit wisely, bro. Huh?
The most important resource, time.
Come on, bro. You ain't getting that back. You ain't getting that back. Let me finish that up, and I'm gonna pass the rock, man. It says, verse 17 in Ecclesiastes 30:17, death is better than a bitter life of continual sickness. Come on, bro. Esau promotes that sickness. All right, Esau, everywhere we go, bro, it's like death is in front of you. The book of Psalms, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I mean, that's on every level. You know, the way you think, the way you eat, the sins we commit, shit. Esau, we Jake, bro. I be talking to elder brother Yakwa about this, man. The kingdom, I love eating, bro. We love eating. We Israelites, we love to eat. In the kingdom, we ain't have to worry about getting fat, being overweight, getting sick, getting the niggeritis. All right, we're gonna eat and be sustained, bro. We're gonna be, bro. We're gonna be able to eat all day, drink, and not have to worry about no goddamn gut
hangovers,
heart attack, high cholesterol. You know what I'm saying? But in this society, Esau purposely put that in front of us because it's a slow kill. The scriptures tell you that we're gonna eat poison, or eat our fruits or food defiled among the Gentiles, man. We shall eat poison and live. And that's literally what we're doing because of this truth's sake. All right, because we got the word to push. The Lord knew we were gonna be eating shit. That's why he told Ezekiel to eat man's dung. But he didn't eat it. Ezekiel was like, Lord, I ain't never eaten nothing so vile in my life. So the Lord lowered it down, gave him a lesser sentence, and have him eat cow shit. Which is way better than eating human shit, but we might as well be eating human shit. That's why I pray over your food, man. Sometimes don't even question it. Just, Lord, have mercy on my soul, and then eat your shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Jay be like, yo, this shit tastes good. Nigga, you probably really eat shit, and you don't know.
Yeah.
We in the worst case scenario, bro.
I got something for you too when you're ready.
Yep, it says death is better than a bitter life of continual sickness. Now let me jump down to verse 25, and I'm gonna pass it. It says, a cheerful and a good heart will have a care over his meat and diet. All right, so a cheerful and a good heart, a cheerful mind. This truth should bring you in a state of cheerfulness and a good heart. Because that there's life after death. All right, there's life after this. That this ain't the end all be all. All right, the end of our life ain't McDonald's and Wendy's. It ain't. All right, or fast food or whatever, a quick fix, because that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the end all be all, man. A good and cheerful heart will have a care over his meat, the things that you eat. You watch what you eat, even though it's lawful, doesn't mean it's expedient. Paul said that, right? All things are lawful, but not all things are expedient, right? Okay. Now, you can apply that to the food. It's lawful. Right. Should I eat 10 burgers? Should I eat 10 hot dogs, beef hot dogs at a cookout? Should I drink unlimited sources of Budweiser, Yayan, because it's lawful? No. Think about it, man. You know what I'm saying? Have a conscience, man. What you eat. You know, easier said than done. You know, we all fall in and out of that lifestyle and that slump. But we practicing, bro. We rehearsing. Scripture said rehearse a righteous act, but we rehearsing it, bro. You know, we may fall off, but we talking now. We may find ourselves in a bad situation where we fell off on our diet. Now we got to get back on it, right? It happens all the time. You find yourself gaining more weight. Damn, I fell off. Well, now you got to get back on. That's just how it go, bro. We in fucking hell. So it said, cheerful and a good heart will have a cure over his meat and diet. Diet, like the brother brought out, Nathaniel, a lifestyle, man. Think about your lifestyle, and literally means a lifestyle, meaning a lifestyle is long term. All right, a lifestyle is long term. It ain't short term. It ain't I'm gonna go on a diet for a week and then I'm gonna hop off. No, that shit's supposed to be in your mind, embedded in you for the long run. You know, what they say? What's the saying go? Shoot for the stars, you're gonna reach the moon. Or shoot for the moon, you reach the stars. One or the other. You know, set your standards high, and then you're gonna, you know, supersede your expectations, so to speak, man. It's that simple, bro. All it takes is discipline. That's it. And when you get into that rhythm, man, you don't even want to break it. You don't even want to break it, man. You know? But yeah, I got it.
This is Psalm 69 and 18. Draw nigh unto my soul and redeem it. Deliver me because of mine enemies. We need deliverance. And King David spoke the same about it. Make sure this is David. Yep, this is Psalm of David. He says in verse 20, so he says, mine adversaries are all before thee. Salaki, deliver me from my enemies, verse 18. Verse 19, thou hast known my reproach. The Most High knows exactly what we're going through. What we going through? Eating this poison down here. Having to decide whether this food is going to kill me or give me some type of disease. And then having to go through all of that and not having enough money to eat it. All right. It says, in my shame and my dishonor, the Lord knows what we're dealing with here. Mine adversaries are all before me. You see Paul mentioning his adversaries, right? Which a little off topic, not too far. You got it's time. We living in a time in which our people want to acknowledge all of our situations going on without acknowledging our adversaries. They want to return back to the Son and the Father without acknowledging the adversaries that the Lord has set before us. He knows our reproach. It says, reproach hath broken my heart. I am full of heaviness. And I looked for some to take pity, but there was none. And for comforters, but I found none. And you go through this life, this existence, this vain existence that's we in right now. This pretty much alternate universe, if you compare it to the world to come, where we're going to be ruling. This place of darkness, this chains of darkness heavy about us. Of course, you're going to be all depressed and sad. And a lot of the foods you eat from the time you go to work and you waking up in the morning, you already had enough. If you in your right mind, you already tired. You know, the least you could do is just try to put the right foods in your stomach, right? That's where discipline begins. And like we was going into healing last week, and you know, Abaratazah, next week we're going into exercise, because these things actually transform you. Hey, I'm a witness to it. These brothers is witness to it, how your food health and taking care of your gut, right? The brothers going into how the gut is interlinked with the mind, basically. And how your brain function has everything to do with what you eating. Earlier in the video, Shemaiah went into all the herbs and the minerals that you're supposed to be consuming on a normal day. And without those, what do? Who can you fight back against? It says, and I looked for some to take pity, but there was none, and for comforters, but I found none. Check this out. Verse 21, they gave me also gall for my meat. And in my thirst, they gave me vinegar to drink. Our enemies had one job back then, and they still do. Poison. When you go into the NLT, it says, but instead they give me poison for food. They offer me sour wine for thirst. Or his brother just recognizing. Brother Nathaniel just brought it out. Red 40, leading to ADHD and all the other illnesses. Foods that are illegal in other countries and legal here in America. This got to be this is Psalms 69 and 21. They gave me gall for my meat, and in my thirst, they gave me vinegar to drink. So hey, Paul, yeah.
Salaki, bro, if I may add, hey, that ties right into the prophecy of what they did to Yahushua. You heard?
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah, they gave him gall.
How they did Yahweh?
Right.
You know?
Which is like a mixture. It's a disgusting mixture. Some say it was piss in there. You know, some scholars say it was piss, which it wasn't. You can't get the Lord that, because he had to be a perfect blemish. But some scholars go off and say that. But it's also mixed with vinegar. We know that, with gall. You know. And so yeah, that's matter of fact, I think I pull it up right here. Matthew 27:34, they gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall, and when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. You know, that's the same thing our ancestors been going through with our enemies. They gave him, who gave them that? The Romans, right? And so that's the situation. We still dealing with the Romans, the modern day Edomites, so-called white men. Verse 22, let their table become a snare before them. So the most Paul, David is asking that the Lord set them up, give them one back. Matter of fact, let everything that they have, their table, let everything that they've earned, let everything that they worship, let everything that they worked hard for, all right, become a snare or a trap. It says, which should have been for their welfare. And that which should have been for their welfare, let it become a trap. So the Most High is going to take all of their prosperity away, which is their welfare. And he's going to return judgment upon their heads for that. All of this poison that he's been feeding us. And brothers just going into the poison of food. Then there's the air and the water, which all of this you need just to live and get by. So they'll trap and snare their own just to get at the children of Israel. Because at the end of the day, you see, it's all about the children of Israel. The elites of their own don't even care about the lessers of their own. That's why money, the rich and the poor have nothing to do with each other. I think the scripture says it's like a sheep and a wolf, lamb and a wolf. They don't mix, right? And so we asking for these same things, right? As we considering the things that we supposed to be eating, and we got to consider the times are old, because in the ancient world, what was Jake doing? Jake was just complaining about our situation endlessly, right? When you go to Numbers 11:4, it says, in the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting. And the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. You see how there's starvation for excess, and Jake's need for convenience overshadows their need for salvation, and overshadows their reverence for the higher power, man. You know, you can't give up to your flesh, man. Here it is. Some days you got to do something called fasting in order to get things right for you. How are you going to do that when all you want to do all day long is eat? So it takes certain type of disciplines. That's why the Lord gave us that manna, right? He gave us that manna because of all of that crying we was doing in the wilderness, man. And that same lot is back here. Last scripture, this is Proverbs 23 and verse 20. It says, be not among wine bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh. You know, people just overly consuming, man. You go to certain cookouts, family dinners and whatnot, banquets. You go to don't go to a all you can eat buffet. You're gonna see the worst of the worst there, man. You see it. That's about the most devious place you can dine at, man. All you can eat buffet, man. Be not among wine bibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh, for the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe the man with rags. Meaning you always sleeping. My father used to say, nothing's come to a sleeper but a dream. You know, we talking about this. The scriptures go into proper etiquette. The brother brought it out last week. When you eat in proper etiquette around brothers, Jake always got the hand in the dish first. And really, if you can master food, which is one of them, you know, gluttony is one of the super demons out here, especially in America. When you can master your intake of food, you can master your diet, which the brother's going into. It's a way of life, and you can master these things through Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now that you know it's beneficial for certain things like focus and energy. When you can master that, man, you can master all types of things. And once again, you could increase the amount of times you fast. You know, you can't be that guy that fasts once a year on the Day of Atonement. You can't be that guy, man. You know what I'm saying? Through the spirit, this brother here, you know, he pushes me to, you know, get in that spirit a lot. You know, the elder, you know, I'm one pushing, and I'm pushing, and I challenge brothers as well out there, man. Increase your amount of fasting. Now that's the real sacrifice right there. You know, and if you could do that, you could definitely take care of your diet. Y'all brothers got it.
Good, Nathaniel.
So, you know, that was another point that I wanted to mention was actually fasting. Through the course of fasting, because what I do on a regular basis is I do intermittent fasting, okay, which is a great practice, especially starting from sleep into the day. The very first thing that a lot of people eat is breakfast, which breakfast goes into what we call break fast. What fast did you just come off of? You just came off of a sleeping fast, because when you sleep, you fast. You don't eat anything, and your body goes into recovery mode. Fasting causes your body to heal. It causes your body to flush out all the toxins that were in it. So you got somebody who commented down here and said, how do I get rid of gout? Fast, bro. Fast, drink water, start juicing, eat more fruits and vegetables, stop drinking, stop eating meat. I'm not giving you any medical advice, but I'm just telling you the things that heal the body. Eat sea moss, man. You know what I'm saying? It has 92 of the minerals that your body need. You know, you don't need me to tell you, you know, what to do. Research it, man. How do you think I learned all this stuff? I learned all this stuff by looking into it because I don't want to be healthy. I'm unhealthy. I'm 42 years old and I got a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. By the time my 4-year-old turned 10, or by the time he turned 12, I'm gonna be in my 50s. I ain't gonna be able to run and chase after him if I ain't been taking care of myself. I ain't gonna be able to play ball or let alone a 1-year-old. This shell is the only shell that we have, so you have to be mindful of what you put in it. And intermittent fasting, if you can't fast, intermittent fasting is great. A lot of us get up in the morning, the very first thing you want to do is put something in your mouth. Well, that's not how we dealt in the ancient world. In the ancient world, eating was not the first thing that we did when we woke up in the morning. We actually put ourselves to work first, and then we ate, okay? Because there's a synergy behind that, you know? There's a synergy behind fasting and not eating, warming your body up, you know, to consume, then consuming your food. You see what I'm saying? And not consuming heavy artery clogging meat and all that stuff. Now, we talked a little bit about, and just going into it too, real quick, I just wanted to go into the cause of gout is uric acid in the body, which means that you're putting a lot of poison in your body that your body can't get rid of. That's how uric acid develops in the body. And what happens is gout is actually a form of arthritis. Which happens is that the toxins start to crystallize within the joints, and that causes intense pain. You see what I'm saying? When you move around. So the way to get rid of it is flushing out the toxins. You have to sacrifice for that, okay? And there's something that the Bishop of Tazawam down here in Atlanta says all the time. You know, he says, whatever you're not willing to sacrifice will become your sacrifice. You see what I'm saying? And that's going to become your sacrifice. So if you're not willing to sacrifice the things that are causing you bad health, then you're gonna be sick from bad health. You see what I'm saying? If you don't want to take care of yourself now, you're going to be forced to take care of yourself later, regardless of how you look at it. And this is why so many people are dying from diseases, because they fall into the trap. Now, we spoke briefly about the poison, and we spoke about nutrition. Now, the next thing I wanted to bring up was hydration. Hydration is very critical for elimination. Your body, like the hydration of your body, the fluids that your body needs is what causes your joints to be able to flex, because it lubricates your joints. Hydration lubricates your bowels so you can eliminate. Hydration is the thing that causes the synapses in the brain to fire properly, because your brain and your body is properly hydrated. You see what I'm saying? When your body isn't properly hydrated, it doesn't function properly. So let's get into some ultra hydrating, because Esau has poisoned the water too. But one of the things that you can do is eat more fruit. So there's a substance called H3O2. Okay, and H3O2 is a highly structured water. Okay, it's a highly structured water that comes from fruits. And what happens is when when your body when you drink water, it's in an unrefined form. But when you eat fruits and vegetables, those liquids beside the fruits and vegetables actually structure that for better absorption. So you can drink a cup of watermelon juice, which that's what I have. I just juice some watermelon. You can drink a cup of watermelon juice and it will ultra hydrate your body. You won't feel thirsty for quite some time. Another thing that people do is they confuse hunger with thirst. A lot of people don't realize that your stomach sends the same signals to the brain whether or not you're thirsty or hungry. You see? And a lot of people confuse hunger for thirst. A lot of times you're thirsty, you're dehydrated, all right? It says the highly structured water is referred to as the fourth phase of water, not H2O2, but H3O2. Can be called living water. It is more viscous, dense, and alkaline than regular water. Has a negative charge and can hold energy much like a battery and deliver energy to you. Structured water and infrared water. The key ingredient to create the highly structured water is light, i.e. electromagnetic energy. This energy comes from the sun. So this is the plants absorb the energy from the sun, whether in the form of visible light or infrared wavelengths, which surrounded by all. One reason why infrared saunas make you feel so good is because your body's cells are deeply penetrated by the infrared energy, which build and store structured water. The same goes for light therapy, spending time in the sun, and laser therapy. Your cells are negatively charged. Now, again, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but if you want to research it, you can research it yourself. But H2O3 is one of the best things that you can do for your body. Okay. Now I wanted to grab a precept real quick, and then after that, that's pretty much all I got for right now. So this right here is Daniel. This is Daniel chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 8. And it says, but Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with a portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore, he requests the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself, because the king's meat was defiled, just like our meat is defiled on this side. But there's something that you can do about it. You don't have to eat the worst of the worst. You can actually eat the best of the best, the best of the worst. But you got to go out and look for it. Because no matter where you go in Babylon, it's going to be defiled. It's going to have some level of defiledness to it, because even the soil and the air is defiled, because he sprays barium salts and aluminum dioxides in the air that comes down and makes the soil toxic. So, and the water toxic, and the fish and everything. So no matter what you do, you're going to get it, but you can get the best of the worst. It says, now Yahweh had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse, likening than the children which are of your sort? Then shall we make me endanger my head to make me endanger my head to the king. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, provide thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. And let our countenance be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the king, and the countenance of the king, of the children that eat the portion of the king's meat, and as thou seest, deal with thy servant. So he consented to them in this matter, and proved them 10 days. And at the end of the 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter in the flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. Okay, so that's exactly what's happening here in Babylon. When you look at the people that consistently consume the king's meat, that consistently consume the things that come out of this nation, you can see the death, and you can see the decay, and you can see it in their behavior, how bugged out they are. Like I just read an article today where a woman killed her boyfriend because they were fighting over who get to use the microwave first. Now, how bugged out is that? First of all, the microwave radiates your food. There's no heat in the microwave. What the microwave does is it radiates the liquid that is inside the food to cause the food to get hot. So you're eating radiated food, which is toxic for your body. But how bugged out do you have to be in the mind to kill somebody because you wanted to use the microwave first? You see what I'm saying? What are you eating? What are you putting in your body that caused your mind to be bugged out like that? You see?
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
And when you go into that scripture, you learn that, wait a minute, if we eat those things that the Lord told us to eat and stay away from the things that the king is trying to put in our face, we will have more life and vitality. You see? But this takes effort. This takes a little bit of work. You got to learn what to put in your body, because what have we been taught all our lives? Huh? McDonald's, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, fried food, fried this, fried that, you know? We haven't been taught those things, the grains that we should eat, the brown rice. We eat a whole lot of white rice, potato chips, starches. All of these things turn into sugar in the body, which is toxic for the body, raising those insulin levels to the point to where you become insulin resistant. And once you become insulin resistant, it is almost impossible for your insulin levels to come back down to normal, okay? The insulin levels is directly the reason why your body, you continue to crave to eat the sugars, is because what happens is when your insulin levels is raised to a point, there's a receptor inside the brain, a chemical inside the brain that's released. It's called dopamine, okay? That dopamine is something that is released when your body receives a sort of pleasure. So when you go and you eat when you're craving a candy bar, right? Your body wants that pleasure from that candy bar that you're about to eat. When you eat it, it spikes your insulin levels, which causes your dopamine levels to be released because you're sitting at pleasure and you get that satisfaction. You see what I'm saying? And that's the trick. And with your insulin levels consistently raised high, eventually you'll get to the point to where you become insulin resistant, and that's when diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and all those things kick in. You got it out.
Yeah, that's a heavy point you made, bro. Because dopamine, that's where you get the term dope from, literally. Dope.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because dope, anybody that did dope, that's the exact reward sensors that your brain signals to your body. When you do dope, the high that they feel, whatever, I ain't never fucking did dope, but people that do dope, whatever reward sensor that your body signals for that particular pleasure is the same thing. That's why people that's why people become addicted to instant gratification. That's another way to phrase it. Instant gratification. Anything that gives you instant gratification in Babylon ain't good for you. Because what does Babylon promote, bro? Death. All right? Anything that's instant gratification in Babylon, it causes death. All right? Point blank, period. I don't care what it is. If Esau pushes it, then we should be going the other way. You know what I'm saying? Fasting and refraining from certain shit. It don't always got to be food either. It could be certain activities that get your dopamines high, and sometimes you just got to fall back from it and really check yourself to see if that's who you are. Are you a dope fiend? All right, are you a dopamine fiend? Are you a fiend for dope? I'm not just talking about dope. I'm talking about whatever it is that kick them signals off in your brain. It could be a McDonald's. Hey, kids, children, they dope fiends, because when they mom's like, yeah, we gonna go get some McDonald's, how them kids start acting, bro? They act like, there you go, brother. That's exactly how they start acting, man. You know, like fucking crack. You know, because that's that dopamine, that's that instant gratification. Now you can, with discipline, you can tweak it to really reward yourself. You do something for that reward, like drinking. Don't drink throughout the whole fucking week. Drink on the weekend. Reward yourself. Bust your ass during the week, and then drink on a Friday or Saturday. Reward yourself so that now you got something to look forward to. You know, when you eating, even eating could be a reward. You know, you work, you bust your ass. Intermittent fasting, which you say you do, I do it too. Now, when it comes time to eat, you enjoy it because now you work for this shit. You know what I'm saying? You work for it. You want your peace and quiet. You just want to eat your meal, and that's that. What's how they say? I think you put the not Socrates, one of the philosophers, that food be that medicine. But there's another one. Sabi said it. eat to live, don't live to eat. You know, eat to live, eat for vitality, but don't eat, don't eat to live, or live to eat. Sorry, don't live to eat. So your whole life is all about eating. You know, you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should do is drink something warm to flush your body out. You should be shitting at least once or twice before you leave the house. You know what I'm saying? Get them toxins out your body. Empty the trash, so to speak. You know, some people, they go to bed eating. They go to bed, they eat, they go to bed at whatever time, and then they go and eat right away. That last meal you had did not even process. It ain't finished processing. You ain't get to dump that shit yet. You know, and that's why a lot of people wake up hungry, because you eat right before you go to bed, not right before you go to bed. Now what your body did throughout that whole 7 to 8 hours or whatever, however long you slept, is processing that food. So now when you wake up, you tired as hell because your machine was functioning all night. All right, you didn't give it a break. You know, so intermittent fasting is a beautiful thing. And matter of fact, I pulled up a matter of fact, hold on, before I pull up the precepts I got, I just wanted to, because I had to look it up myself, bro. I couldn't believe that shit. Right here. Actual facts, bro. That shit crazy.
Bro, that's it right there. That's it.
that shit, I ain't believe that shit, bro. I had to look it up for myself, bro. You know, I thought it was an Edomite, but goddamn, bro. I bet you she took the joint, the J.A. busy. 100%. But anyway, man. What I did was I typed in, what does the Bible say about nutrition and health? And a couple things come up. Most of these are in the ESV, so I'm gonna just read it as it is, as it's saying on the screen, and read what's might be beneficial for this lesson, before we close out. So this is 1 Corinthians 16 and 19. It says, or do you not know that your body, and this is ESV, it says that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from the Heavenly Father. You are not of your own, but we were bought with a price, so glorify the Most High in your body. Now think about it. You think Yahweh Shah was eating all types of bullshit when he was on the scene? Come on, bro. The man was a perfect sacrifice. That means he applied all the laws, statutes, and commandments. That means he was perfectly balanced. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they called him a wine bibber and a gluttonous or whatever. But I guarantee he was eating all the right stuff. And the wine he was drinking was the purest of the pure wine. And what the Lord said, he ain't gonna drink this grape, of the wine of the grape, or the vine of the grape, till he drink it new with us, the 12 he was talking about, in his Father's kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So just put it like that. Our body is a temple of the Most High, so treat it as such. This is our vehicles, and I said this in the herb video, but this is our vehicle that drive us through our daily basis, to go to camp, to go to work, to do what we gotta do. Treat it as such. There's Genesis 1:29, and the Heavenly Father said, or the Elohim said, behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. Ye shall have them for food. And that's another thing. Your food, your fruits, your vegetable, it should all have a seed. Okay? If it don't have a seed, then it ain't real. You might, and even GMO shit cause inflammation in your body. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important to go on a fast. Fast will help balance out, the BS that we're eating and drinking and taking in. Even though we trying, go on a fast. That's why intermittent fasting will probably be, your best bet, because it don't have to be 24 hours. It could be 18-hour, 16-hour window of not eating out of 24 hours, 18, 20, however you want to do it, slicing and dicing. Consider 8 hours of sleep and 8 hours of not eating, you got your easy 16. Throughout that whole 8 hours, you could be drinking fluid and flushing your body. Drink water. Your body is made up of water. This is Proverbs 23 and 20, ESV again. It says, be not among drunkards or among gluttonous eaters of meat, for the drunkard and gluttonous will come to poverty, and slumber will clothe them with rags. You see? So being a drunkard and a gluttonous and eaters of meat, and just gluttonous, you come to poverty. You know, the most expensive thing you can do is always eating out, always eating out. And that's why the black women, or women in general, they always want to eat out. They always want to go out and eat. Why? You know, they go out and eat and take a picture or just glorify some bullshit ass meal on the table that could have been fixed at home. You know, that us brothers could have done a better job doing.
Like wow, like Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
Come on, bro. Like really? You know? Why? But just to say you went out and eat? Personally, I fucking hate going out and eat, bro. I mean, I used to do this shit, but I never feel satisfied when I go out and eat. I never feel like the satisfaction of the nutrients that my body. I never feel it. If I do, it's for pleasure. Point blank. Period. We don't eat for pleasure. You know? Or you
That's how you get broke.
Huh?
That's how you go broke fast. Keep go ahead and eating, and Mr. Childs, keep going out to eat. See how your pockets look. I mean, we was talking earlier about having the proper diet. The diet covers more than just your, what goes in your stomach, because it's a way of life. What about your budget diet? You know, we're gonna do a lesson one day on finances and try to make it hit home for some Jake and make some sense, because that's another taking care of. That's another human necessity, man. As we are still here, you gotta have order and discipline amongst everything you do. Yeah. And as the brother mentioned, having a good diet, when you're doing these things like fasting, the brother mentioned when you're doing these things, intermittent fasting, when you're drinking all of this water, when you turning your whole wave around, make sure you take notice of how your body is feeling. Tell me you ain't gonna feel better. Tell me you ain't gonna use the bathroom more often. And then you going, like, how you feel, how you feel after it. You're supposed to feel rejuvenated, energized. You got your sleep, man, because you're supposed to be, you're going to be toiling on the plantation. You're going to want that energy, and then you're going to watch a lot of people, how they look. They look sluggish. They look like they're old. Their metabolism is slower than it should be. They're walking slower than they should be, and their knees and all of that stuff. There's a dead look in a lot of these Americans as you walking down the street. Notice them. There's a dead look in them because a lot of it is basically they ain't taking care of their bodies no more. Bro. It's like, how the hell with it?
Hey, bro, we see it all the time, bro. And you see, for those that are watching, Lord willing, this makes sense and this resonate with you, because once you I don't want to say, once you're on that side, so to speak, and you start looking at how these people really eat and drink, it's like, how the hell do you do it? I mean, I'm talking about 7 in the morning. Niggas eating bacon, egg, and cheese, bro, and Swiss rolls, them little Debbie cakes and shit. Donuts. Ask me if I want some. Now I'm good. I don't eat until 12 o'clock. And at 12, when I do eat, it really is a smoothie that I make every morning. When I wake up, like 5, when I wake up, I start making my smoothie. I put the ingredients and all that shit.